The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Well, we're starting to hear, Lewis, from more potential Republican 2012 presidential candidates, and I have to tell you, if I am a Republican right now, I'm pretty concerned because a lot of the names being floated just don't strike me as people that have even the most remote chance of winning at all. I mean, I would say to start with, Mitt Romney is someone that should actually have a good shot at winning. He's our former governor, of course, Lewis. And the thing is, he is going to get into so much trouble with this Massachusetts healthcare, national healthcare reform situation. It's written on the wall, is it not?
Right. I mean, I guess he could argue that it works, that it's a good thing.
And he'll lose the Republican primary if he does that. That's what he should be saying. That's the truth. But he'll lose.
Probably, yeah.
We've already heard, to give you the background, Mitt Romney was involved in passing a healthcare reform bill while he was governor here in Massachusetts that has components that are similar to those that Republicans hate about the Obama healthcare reform bill. And the reality is Mitt Romney, this should be Mitt Romney. Let's be honest. I don't think that being a business CEO should be his top credential. I think it's sad when people consider that the best thing to look for in a presidential candidate. I think it should be his biggest point of something he has accomplished. Ezra Klein wrote just the other day about Massachusetts healthcare. More than 98% of Massachusetts residents now have health insurance. And more than 99%, Lewis, of the children in Massachusetts have health insurance. It's incredible.
Well, if he decides to run as a Democrat, I'm sure it'll work well.
Well, but here's the thing. When this was passed, he said, quote, "An achievement like this comes around once in a generation. Today, Massachusetts is leading the way with health insurance for everyone, without a government takeover and without raising taxes." But Karl Rove has already indicated Romneycare will be a problem for Mitt Romney. Other Republican so-called self-proclaimed experts have said healthcare is something Romney might have to denounce. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Over 98% of Massachusetts residents have care. And Mitt Romney would have to distance himself from something he said was a great achievement in order to even have a shot. And he said actually in an interview, well, I would be for something like what Obamacare has in it if it was the states that decided to pass it. Uh-oh, that's a red flag, ladies and gentlemen. An explanation like that from a politician is a red flag. Then we have Sarah Palin. I actually don't think Palin will run. I don't think she wants to be president, but let's be honest. She was able to finish her governorship before her term was up. She did everything in such little time that she was able to get out of there before her term was even up. Now, to me, that's scary. And she's also said, well, I will step forward and run for president if no one else does that can solve the economic problems. Really? She has the answer, Lewis, to all of the economic problems of the country, but she won't tell us. Only if nobody else runs that can fix the economy will she run. Selfish, isn't it? She's hiding the solution.
If she does run, do you think she has a chance anyway?
No, I don't. I think she has no chance.
No, we're winning the primary.
No, I think she has no chance at winning the primary, and I think she doesn't want to be president. She makes a lot more money and probably has a much more convenient schedule doing what she does now. And then there's Newt Gingrich. Now, Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum both have had their Fox News contributor contracts suspended for 60 days because of what Fox, I guess, said is expected or possible runs for the presidency. And we'll see what happens in 60 days, they've basically said. I think Newt Gingrich any hour now. I mean, by the time you hear this, if you're listening to us on a podcast or later on TV or radio, it may have already happened. Newt Gingrich's personal history has to become an issue, right, Lewis? I mean, multiple divorces, questionable affairs, and his holier-than-thou moral majority attitude combined with kind of a troubled personal history, we have to assume that will become an issue for him.
Of course, yeah, and he'll have to talk about it, and I don't know how it will affect him, but it'll be an issue.
The thing is, I actually think Newt Gingrich, other than that, is actually one of the better candidates. Not better in that I like his policies.
People
but just
like him.
More viable candidates from the Republicans. And I think Newt Gingrich and Mitt Romney of the probable candidates, and actually I think Jeb Bush even though I would never vote for the guy, don't agree with his politics, and the last thing I want is another Clinton or Bush as president in this country, I think actually would have a pretty good shot for a number of reasons.
Which reasons?
Number one, appeal to Hispanic voters, which are a larger and larger percentage of the population. Now, I know, being from Argentina myself, that really the only even relatively conservative Hispanic voting group is Cubans. Other than that, Hispanic voters tend to be pretty liberal, much more liberal than me in many cases. And I think Jeb Bush might be able to appeal in that sense. I mean, given that I think his wife is Hispanic. I just don't know that he's running. And then, of course, Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee, I think he can't win. I don't know that he'll run. He has had a lot of trouble raising money. And let's be honest, have you heard some of the things he said recently? He's now into the Obama's Kenyan upbringing as a kid has shaped his worldview. He didn't go to Kenya until he was 20.
And to think he seemed somewhat reasonable as a candidate last election.
It is bizarre.
Yeah.
That how things change. Well, to think that Sarah Palin seemed like a good decision to the McCain camp.
Well, for the first few months it was.
But you have to assume, I believe, Lewis, tell me if you disagree, if we knew what we know about Sarah Palin now, the Republican ticket of John McCain would never
of
think
course not.
Of bringing Sarah Palin on.
No way. That might be what lost him the election.
Oh, absolutely. Among other things.